Welcome to Explain the Charts. Today, July 23rd, 2025, we're taking an in-depth look at the NZDUSD currency pair, combining the latest news with a detailed chart analysis to understand its recent movements and future potential. Let's begin by examining the current economic landscape for NZDUSD. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand, or RBNZ, recently held its interest rates steady, a widely anticipated decision. However, New Zealand's latest CPI report indicates fading inflation risks, suggesting the potential for future interest rate cuts, which could weigh on the NZD. On the US dollar side, the currency has edged marginally higher, yet Goldman Sachs believes its recent firmness shows signs of vulnerability. The market is keenly awaiting crucial U.S. Consumer Price Index data and the release of today's June Fed minutes for more definitive direction on the USD's path. Adding to the complexities, the Australian labor market is showing signs of weakness, and investor caution due to potential U.S. trade tariffs is affecting most Asian currencies, which can also influence the risk-sensitive NZD. Now, let's turn our attention to the daily chart for NZDUSD, looking at the broader trends from March 2024 to the present. Over this period, we observe a clear downtrend from highs around 0.615 to 0.618 seen in March and May of 2024. The price has consistently made lower highs and lower lows, indicating a prevailing bearish sentiment. It's important to note some extreme, sudden drops in the data, which appear to be temporary anomalies or flash crashes, and we will focus on the more consistent price action and sustained support levels. A significant historical support area has formed around the 0.585 to 0.590 zone, which the pair has respected at various points through late 2024 and early 2025. More recently, in early April 2025, NZDUSD saw a strong rebound from lows around 0.55, pushing back towards the 0.59 to 0.60 range. This bounce could represent a medium-term reversal if it manages to hold above these critical levels and establish a new upward trend. The current daily close on July 22nd is around 0.59976, near the 0.60026 mentioned in recent news, suggesting the pair is consolidating after this rebound. Zooming in on the daily chart for 2025, from January 1st to July 22nd, we can see this medium-term consolidation more clearly. The 0.593 to 0.595 zone has acted as a consistent support level during July 2025, preventing significant downside, which is crucial for any potential bullish continuation. Conversely, the 0.600 to 0.602 level, and especially the 0.605 mark, have proven to be strong resistance points. Each time the price approaches 0.605, it tends to pull back, reinforcing this as a supply zone where sellers are active. The consistent trading volume around these levels suggests a dynamic battle between buyers and sellers, often seen before a decisive price move. This tight consolidation on the daily chart implies that a breakout, either upwards or downwards, could be imminent, offering significant trading opportunities. Now, let's shift to the shorter time frames for a more granular view, keeping in mind that the hourly data available here covers an earlier period, from July 2nd to July 7th, 2025. On this 1-hour chart, we observe a general slight downward drift, with NZDUSD moving from highs near 0.610 on July 2nd down to test the 0.600 mark by July 7th. There were periods of choppy, sideways movement, particularly evident between July 4th and 7th, where the price consolidated around 0.605. This short-term weakness during that week aligns with the broader cautious sentiment we discussed earlier due to RBNZ hints and global concerns. Moving to the 15-minute chart, which shows price action from July 21st to July 22nd, we get a much closer look at the immediate market sentiment. For most of this period, the price consolidated within a very tight range, primarily between 0.596 and 0.597. The relatively low volume during many of these 15-minute candles signals a lack of strong conviction, typical for a range-bound market awaiting catalysts. However, a distinct upward move occurred towards the end of July 22nd, pushing the price from 0.596 up to nearly 0.600. This short-term bullish impulse suggests that buyers stepped in aggressively, potentially reacting to fresh news or technical triggers. For intraday traders, the 0.596 to 0.597 zone has served as minor support during this period, while 0.600 represents the immediate resistance point. A decisive break above 0.600 on this time frame, confirmed by higher volume, could extend the short-term rally. Conversely, a break below 0.596 could signal a return to the previous lower ranges. Let's recap the important price levels and unbiased predictions for NZDUSD. The immediate resistance levels to closely watch are the 0.600 to 0.602 area, with a stronger historical resistance at 0.605. On the support side, the 0.593 to 0.595 zone has recently proven to be resilient, and a more significant historical support lies around 0.585. For our short-term outlook, we identify two primary scenarios. Scenario 1, continued bearish pressure, 45% likelihood if the upcoming U.S. CPI data proves strong or the Fed minutes suggest a more hawkish stance than expected. The U.S. dollar could strengthen. This would likely push us to retest 0.593 and potentially move further down to 0.585, especially if the RBNZ confirms its dovish leanings with clearer signals of rate cuts. Scenario 2, consolidation with potential upside, 55% likelihood. Should the U.S. economic data disappoint or the Fed minutes reveal a more dovish tone, the USD might weaken, allowing us to consolidate around current levels, or even push towards the 0.605 to 0.61 resistance. This scenario is reinforced if the RBNZ delays any explicit signals for interest rate cuts. Traders should closely monitor the actual releases of the U.S. CPI data and the Fed minutes, as these are the primary catalysts for the immediate future. Additionally, keep an eye on Australian economic indicators and any new headlines regarding U.S. trade tariffs, as these can also significantly influence NZDUSD's direction. Finally, always pay attention to volume spikes around these key support and resistance levels, as they can help confirm the strength of any breakout or breakdown. That wraps up our in-depth analysis of NZDUSD for today, July 23, 2025. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Explain the Charts for more comprehensive market insights.